So I was reading this book a couple of days or maybe more than a month ago. At least just the first part of this book. This is a collection. It's not just one. This is Franz Kafka, Metamorphosis. I think the process, and it's in Spanish. So I don't know if this is the right translation, but it's Carta al Padre, which is a letter to the father or something like that. I don't know. But the one that I want to talk about today is the Metamorphosis. And I found this book pretty easy to read. And I actually quite enjoyed it, and I finished it pretty fast, at least in my estimation, at my pace. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 days that it took me to read the whole book. And this book actually kept me pretty hooked. Like, I was reading it and I wasn't bored at a single time in the process of reading it. That generally doesn't happen. Like, for example, I was reading Moby Dick a couple of months ago, and I had to stop because honestly, it got tremendously boring at some point. We're talking about ships and how these ships work and stuff about the sea that I really don't care. And with this book was different. Like with this one, the Metamorphosis, I actually got hooked, and I was intrigued after every word that I read. I was I want to see more. I want to read more, and read more. And what I want to talk about in this video is what I got from it, what I understand, or what I understood, what was the first impression that I got while reading it. And maybe I can try probably later reading it again and maybe getting something new, something different, or something maybe even more correct than what I got. And yeah, so the main thing that I remember from the book was obviously the fact that the main guy, which I forgot the name now, he turned into a weird bug or insect. And he was trying to get out of bed. He was thinking about his job and the fact that he could have problems if he doesn't get to work on time, which I think he had previously. He had never had issues with this. He was a pretty disciplined and on-time person. But he this time, he woke up and he was this weird bug and insect or whatever, and he couldn't get out of bed. And all he was thinking was my job. What's gonna happen if I don't get to my job on time, and I don't prepare what I need to prepare and do what I need to do. And that was the first thing that kind of struck me. It's okay, you woke up, you are a bug, you are an insect, you woke up differently than you were the day before, and all you're thinking is about your job. And obviously I was thinking, okay, this is probably a metaphor. This is not really kind of what's being transmitted to me. I'm not gonna wake up as a bug, but it's more okay, I'm waking up sick. I'm waking up with some sort of situation that should be more pressing than me getting to work. And I'm actually just thinking, what about work, right? And that has definitely happened to me. I have, woke up with different issues, physical, mental issues, and I'm thinking, oh man, I need to get up and I need to work, and what are people gonna say? I need to, maybe finish this, finish that, when you should be thinking just about yourself. And that was the first impression that I got from it. That's kind of the first part of it. Then, eventually people kind of get caught up on the fact that he hasn't woken up and he hasn't gone to work, and people from work, I think, start coming home and trying to check in and see what's going on. And his family is also getting concerned because I think he's taking care of the family with this job. I think both are his mom and dad, and also his sister. So he's kind of the money earner in the home. So people are kind of trying to see what's going on. And I think at some point they come in, and I think it's the sister or one of them that sees the situation and gets struck by what's happening. And this is kind of like the second part that I remember. It's that they started caring for him like at a distance, and they started to assess the situation. What are they gonna do, or how are they gonna, go on about this? And the sister kind of like brings him food and helps him with, clearing the room and trying to accommodate him and kind of like feeling sorry for him. But then after some point, they get tired of the situation. They get tired of having to help him. They get tired of having to hide him from other people, because I think at some point they rent some of the rooms in the house, so it's not just the family. There's more people in there, and they have to keep that room closed and all of that. So they start to get tired of it, right? They start to get tired of having to care for this person, not this person, but their family member in this case. In case of the sister, his brother, and the parents, their son, right? And this is the second thing that I got out of it, is that if you find yourself in a situation where you're a burden to someone else, no matter who you are, people are gonna get tired of you. And even if they don't stop helping you and doing things, to accommodate you and all of that, that doesn't mean that they're not really tired of you. And I have read or remembered from somewhere that people that are taking care of, let's say, paralytics, like people that cannot move or are completely disabled, they sometimes get relieved when the person that they're taking care of dies. And that sounds terrible, right? Like that sounds really, really terrible, right? Like it sounds bad that this person that has been suffering in that way and is bedridden dies, and you have a sense of relief. But I guess it makes sense also, right? Because it is a burden. It is hard to care for someone that is completely disabled, and no one really should be subject to that. But these kinds of things happen in life. But in the book, it's kind of interesting because you see the helplessness of the main guy, which I need to look it up because I cannot keep doing this. Metamorphosis, main character. Just look that up real quick. He's a Gregor Samsa. So let's say Samsa. You see the helplessness of the situation. He tries to speak. He tries to, say things and try to communicate stuff by doing things, and it doesn't work. And he's basically stuck in his own situation. And this leads me to, one of the interpretations that I found online after, trying to get my own. And it is that, the fact that in everything that you go in life, regardless of how many people you have around you and how many people help you in the way that they can, you are really trapped in your own situation. You are the only one that really understands what you're going through and how it feels, and what you can do about it, and what works and what doesn't work. People can try and understand and try and help and see, how you feel and how to help you, but you're really trapped in that situation, and it is you who has the power to do what you need to do and to, go about the situation. And it kind of gives a feeling of hopelessness and a feeling of maybe nihilistic kind of feeling. But I think that's the main idea behind the book, is helplessness, is you are by yourself, and only yourself can understand like what you're going through, and no one can really get into that. And that goes for everyone. In this case, it's not just Samsa. In the in the book, it's actually everyone, because everyone is suffering in one way or another, right? Like, I don't think his parents, are not suffering. The fact that his son has become some weird monster or insect, and her sister as well, and and also considering the fact that he was the money earner in the house, obviously everything comes crumbling down, just like probably happens when someone gets bedridden in a house. That probably destroys and disturbs things. So even them are really dealing with their own, maybe, metamorphosis, right? Like the house has changed, and each individual in the house has changed, and it's going through a metamorphosis that only them can really understand by themselves what they're going through. I hadn't really think about that. I was only thinking about the metamorphosis in the sense of Gregor Samsa, but not in the sense of the bigger picture and each individual in the house that is involved in that. So that is, I think that should even be the title of this video, maybe hopelessness, or maybe something more descriptive. I don't know. So that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about in this book. I might come back once I finish reading the process. I'm not enjoying that book, that part, that much. The beginning was kind of okay, but I will try to read it through and make a video about it and see. Yeah, so thank you. Bye-bye.